We don't do that here.
But the queen rise to the top.
Welcome back to the ultimate fucking casual. Joined today by the homies Isaac and Nathan. Let's get into the MMA. Now, on Friday, June 28th, there were two things. PFL 2024, all the fucking results are on the website, luxmediashows.com. There's really nothing that stood out here, so I watched the shit so that you don't have to. Also, in Thailand, won Friday Fights 68 at the Lumpini Boxing Stadium. There were a couple of good ones here. Pakorn PK Sanchai stops Rafi Bohic in the first. These were Bantam Muay Thais. I noted this one not just because it was a really cool knockout, but also because Bohic is French, so French stays taking L's. Moving up, Shadow, fucking man, those Thai dudes with the excellent names. Shadow Singha, Mawin, UD over Jimmy Vienno. Now, not the most exciting fight, but Vienno's French, so eat shit. These were feather Muay Thais. The only other one really worth mentioning, Kiamran Nabati KO1 over Sua Black Tour Prawn 49. I'm guessing that's like the sponsor, but Bantam Muay Thais, really quick knockout, very exciting. Superlek was in the co-main, not the best. Not his best look, I would say. So, but I also didn't know who Kong Torani is. So there you go. Now, something important that people actually want to hear about. UFC 303. Let me just do anything on the early prelims stand out, because I'm just gonna breeze like headlines. All right, Vinicius Oliveira UD over Ricky Simon, Ray Tsuruya UD over Carlos Hernandez, Martin Boudet split decision over Andre Arlovsky, and Gillian Robertson UD over Michelle Watterson Gomez. Now, from the bottom up of the prelims, Peyton Talbot stops Yanis Hamori in one. I have to say I'm disappointed with this performance. I was hoping I would get to see more. That shit was over in less than a minute, so that's a bit of a letdown.
Wasn't it like the first or second punch he threw?
Yes.
That ended the fight?
It was like in 19 seconds, if I want to say.
It was
so
quick.
fast. Like we really didn't learn anything other than like the hype is still like at 100. But we really didn't learn anything about Talbot.
If anything, we just know that he shouldn't be, like, he probably should be getting someone either at the top of the top 15 or someone like just outside the rankings. Like, he shouldn't be messing around with these lower tier guys anymore. He's clearly too good for that.
That was what he called for. Was he said anyone from like the top 10 to 20. Those were the numbers he said specifically.
I think that's a good range for him.
Yeah,
we can probably learn more. Hopefully.
Yeah, I was hoping. It's disappointing because we didn't see anything new. We didn't see anything noteworthy. Great power, solid punch connection. So that was cool, but I was hoping to see more of him.
No fraud check, at least.
Yeah,
definitely
not. John Silva, KO2 over Charles Jourdain. I remember this being really entertaining while it lasted.
Yeah, it was a brutal finish too. Like I think Charles Jourdain had never been finished before, but this uppercut. I mean, he had already taken some damage prior to the knockout, but man, the uppercut that he landed, like I think it was as Jourdain was escaping the clinch. Man, it was a brutal. Like that same night on I think it was the top ranked card, the Ramirez KO. I think we had also an uppercut there. So it was just, we got to see the same thing in MMA and boxing. Really nice finish.
Yeah. And this one was so like creative because he's right. It's as he's separating from the clinch, but he leaves his right arm kind of hooked around his head and he moves to like, he has the perfect portrait of, you know, his opponent in his vision. And when he slips that in, it's like he doesn't even see it coming. And so it was a really cool angle. It was really, really creative knockout. And like, I mean, like you said, very brutal.
Yeah.
Is Silva the guy that just signed with UFC? Maybe it wasn't him.
I'm not sure. I mean, this is one of my first times seeing him. So, and I think he missed weight by like a pound too. I mean, it wasn't that much, but
he may have just signed this year, but he's already had. He won his debut fight in the UFC.
Oh, okay. So it's been
back in January.
Well, I mean, if he keeps winning like that, then we'll have to keep tuning in for him.
I'm trying to remember if this is who they were talking about, because they were saying that he was like really beefy for the weight class and that he had missed weight, that he can make featherweight, but he just missed it this time. So
yeah,
I think this was it. Moving up, Andre Fili, split decision over Cub Swanson. Good decision? Question mark, Nathan?
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean, it was a close fight, but to be honest, I didn't have very strong feelings about this fight. It was just kind of one of those fights that happened.
Yeah.
You know, they're both older guys in the UFC, so they've got a lot of fights under their belt. So,
29-13 for Swanson, 23-11 for Fielding. Jesus, that is a lot of mileage.
I feel like Cub Swanson's been fighting for ages. I mean, he has, but Cub Swanson, 40 years old.
Man. He's been there for time. Yeah.
Man, UFC and 40-year-olds, I guess. Yeah, I guess if they're getting the job done. Right, getting the job done. Joe Pyfer, KO1, Marc-Andre Barriault. This one was fun while it lasted. Pyfer's a fucking beast, so that's fun. Always good to see more contenders in the mix.
Yeah, that was a really needed bounce back because he got pretty badly fraud checked in his last fight, so he needed to come out here. And this was another one where it was just a really good angle. I think Barriault was like kind of trying to stand up on the scramble, and like, I mean, Pyfer just like punched straight through his chin. I mean, that was bad.
Yeah.
That might be a knockout of the year contender. That was, I mean, instant lights off punch.
It was a face plant, right? We got to see a face plant.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, he went straight down.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, that power. If he connects, you're probably gone.
Do you think he breaks into the rankings with this? If he wasn't already, I should have checked this, but let me see if he broke.
I don't believe he was ranked.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Do my best.
No, he needs to rack up. I mean, he's still pretty new into his UFC stint, so he probably needs to win a little more before they give him a ranking.
Looking at the bottom 5 of it, though, I really think he could hang, if not win.
At the very least, they would be fun fights to make.
For sure.
I'm down to see them.
Yeah, I'm excited. Joe Pyfer came from nothing. I think he's only said that like at one event. It was just some random Apex card, and he was just, from the time he won until after the interview, he was just shouting, "I came from nothing" the whole time. So yes, thank you for the encouragement, Joe. Good stuff. Ian Machado Gary, UD over Michael Venom Page.
Ooh, everyone disliked that.
Yeah. I was talking with, when B-Sides recorded last week, Drip was saying that as much as he didn't really care for the point fighting style that MVP employs, and it was one of those like enough of the gimmick kind of things, and that Gary did what was necessary. Wasn't pretty, but he got the job done, and that was the point of the game plan. Isaac, what do you think? Was this like him playing to his strengths versus really renowned striker.
I mean, this is one of the things. Like, I saw a lot of people outraged that he was wrestling. I'm okay with him wrestling and attempting to grapple, just because this is MMA.
Right.
Like, becoming well-rounded is good. Like, we applaud that. And it seems to, have been a good game plan, because MVP obviously had a deficiency in that area. But with all the talk that Gary put on, I just expected more. Like, I think he wanted to play it safe, especially after he felt MVP's like speed and power. But man, with all the trash talk that he had said in the build-up, I expected so much more. Like, he said he was faster, he was a better striker, he was stronger, and we got to see none of that. We got to see absolutely none of that.
MVP,
and not only that, but
to his credit, like, good God, he was still really, really fast.
Dude, MVP was piecing him up in the striking exchanges. Like, if he had even like a tiny bit of defensive wrestling, he would have won. Like, he first of all, he needs to work on his defensive wrestling so bad.
Yeah.
Like that. This is almost as bad as like what Cyril Gane did against John Jones. This was terrible. But in the stand-up, man, he's so good in the stand-up. So good.
Nathan, do you think it's as simple as that? Could it have been as simple as that? Just improved takedown defense and a little bit of ground game for MVP?
Yeah. I mean, if he could stuff like a couple of those takedowns, because if he knew, I know the commentary was pointing this out. He didn't even know like the basics of fighting off those positions, and so once he got on the ground, he stayed on the ground. So that was a really big problem. And the thing with Gary, I think it's not so much an issue that he decided to wrestle, but like Isaac was saying before the fight, he's like, I'm going to strike with MVP. And he didn't do that. And then after the fight, he's talking about like, oh, well, I did so great on the stand-up versus MVP. I outstruck him. And it's like, no, you didn't. You ran away from the stand-up. And so I think that's why this fight's left a sour taste in people's mouths. But, I mean, unfortunately, I don't know how unexpected this is, because I mean we've known that Page doesn't wrestle. We know Gary has that ability, so like this is not a shocking, upset by any means.
If MVP didn't want to wrestle, go to ONE FC. They have plenty of variants for you over there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm flaming MVP too. He could have had a win here and derailed the Gary hype train, but
this is some shit you should have seen coming.
Yeah.
A guy
100%.
who you are considerably faster than, your striking is considerably better. You should have anticipated that he's just gonna make it grimy, take it to the ground, and not let you up. So
especially considering like the gym that Gary trains at.
Right, he's been living in Brazil for years.
Yeah,
man,
I have to anticipate that. But I mean, I don't know. Gary's talking about he wants Shavkat next, so I say let that happen.
Is he gonna say, "I'm going to out wrestle him. I'm going to beat him on the ground," and then he's just going to stand up with him?
There's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do to Shavkat.
There's no realm.
Shavkat's
better every area.
Yeah.
He's better.
Better wrestling, better submission skills, better leg strikes, better hand strikes. Like he would get folded if he fought Shavkat. So, hopefully that happens if he's actually serious about this call out. But
yeah, Gary's best chance in that fight is like attempting to like do the karate point style fighting. That's his best chance. And even then, I don't think that would bring much either.
I said to Drip that I think a great fight for both of them right now would be Jack Della Maddalena versus Ian Machado Gary. I would like it.
Yeah, that would be a good fight.
Jack's at 5.
That would be winnable. That would be really winnable for Gary, but it's a go either way fight, probably.
JDM, he's a dog.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
He's a dog. So if it came down to like, it's whoever wants it more, JDM's probably going to take that fight, in my opinion, if it comes down to it.
Yep. All right. Now, this is the part where I eat some crow. because this fight actually turned out to be pretty decent. Macy Chiasson gets the TKO doctor stoppage win in the second. Mayra Bueno Silva, goodness gracious, I feel like I'm starting to become like I don't know, hyperbolic to I don't know, to excess. But that cut was horrible. That was it's not like her like skin was hanging off or anything, but at one point when the doctor cleared the blood out of the way, it's like he's like, yeah, you can see her skull. It's like, Jesus Christ.
It was like someone took a meat cleaver
Seriously.
to her head.
That's, yeah, someone took a blade to her fucking face. That was rough.
Yeah.
If you took my advice and you went to get fucking crow wings during this one, then Macy was in the mount, just dropped a huge elbow. She's like long and lanky, so that she got a lot of torque on it, and Myra's face was pretty bad. She was pretty upset with the stoppage. Doctor didn't know what to do. He seemed a little torn between stopping it. Like he was screaming his Hippocratic oath in his head as he's looking at the cut. Because it seemed like he wanted to let it continue, but in the end he didn't. Bad beat. Sorry, Myra.
Yeah. Bad cut.
Yep.
Hopefully this scar tissue is not bad for that one.
This one,
I don't know.
I did skip.
Probably will be.
Roman Dolidze, UD over Anthony Smith. I didn't really want to watch it when I saw it was a decision. Can you guys fill me in?
It was not a fun fight. It was the battle of the gas tanks is what it came out to be.
That's what I thought.
Like this fight was just cursed even before.
Right.
I mean, this was that light heavyweight slot that just never. I mean, we ended up with a middleweight filling in one of those slots. This fight was not good.
Yeah, this is terrible. Really terrible.
The only good thing that came out of it is that like the Anthony Smith and Alex Pereira fight talks are probably going to quiet down now.
Who in their fucking brilliant mind was thinking of putting Anthony Smith?
This was a thing. This was a thing. Anthony Smith, he's been calling up Pereira for time now. But I think this was this chopped at the source.
Is he trying to do Chuck Liddell? If I get enough brain damage, Dana will he'll float in my life until I die.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. You know what they say, guys. Anthony Smith on paper is the best fighter the UFC's ever seen.
Who the fuck says that?
He could have been champion, even by a technicality. He could have been champion.
Oh, that's right. But too much honor.
Yeah.
How's that honor working for you?
Yeah.
Too much honor, too little sense.
Yeah. This fight was not good though.
Well then, not sorry I missed it. If that's the case. Now, co-main, another fight that had a lot of trouble. Dan Ige steps in on, what was it, like 3-4 hours notice. Yeah. Fortunately, he lives in Vegas and was training for, I think, to be on 304 or something like that. So he steps in, catch weight with Diego Lopez. I'm trying to remember how it was, because I know Ige had he had to come in at 155 and had like a rehydration limit or something. I don't know, or something like that. Unless I just misheard it, just possibly the case, probably the case. But
I think they ended up just like fighting at a catch weight of 165.
Yeah,
and they just both weighed in, like in front of the commissioner. They weighed in, and
yeah, it's good.
And that's what it ended up.
Yeah, do your best. Lopez, to his credit, he did his best. All things considered, he was all right. Not the best we've seen him. Again, all things considered. Dan Ige, on the other hand, had a little trouble in the beginning. Finished the fight really strong. Overall, the narrative, Ige wins the narrative. even if he didn't win the fight. Nathan, what do you think of that
Yeah,
assessment?
absolutely. I mean, coming in on just a handful of hours' notice and putting in like a respectable performance, actually winning a round. I mean, that's so insane. But this is one of those fights where like I feel like the stock of both fighters like rises because even if Lopez, technically had a full training camp, he had no time. There was no stylistic preparation. All that got thrown out the window for him like 3 times. And so, there's certainly adversity on his corner that he's having to deal with, and he's fighting a guy that has absolutely, like, genuinely nothing to lose. Like he just gets to showed up, gets a paycheck he didn't expect, it gets to box basically. So I don't put too much stock in. Like I don't look at Lopez any less, but definitely, I mean, Ige's the man of the hour
For sure.
for this one.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, like you said, we didn't really get to see either fighter at their best just because of, whatever circumstances that they had for this fight. But I think both of their stocks increased, even if it was only a little bit, because just the storyline that they crafted out of this fight was pretty cool. And I mean, I don't know if we'll see it again, like this short notice, but I'm excited to see both of these guys in the future. And I don't think they really took any hits career wise.
Yeah, you have to caveat everything with like all things considered, all circumstances considered. It was fine. It was good performance. Both guys did their best, and their best was pretty solid. They were both talking about the Sphere. Was that in September? I think for Noche UFC.
Yeah, I think they said. I'm not sure about. I didn't hear about Ige, but I know Lopez. They want to get him on there. That's what Dana White said, I think.
They both asked for it, like separately.
Oh.
And from what I heard, what I saw in the post fight presser, Dana did say like after what like the service they performed for UFC tonight, that is a reward that they deserve. So they might get a rematch. They might be on the fight or on the card separately. Who knows? Rematch would be fun, given what we've seen. Them having a full camp to prepare for each other. I think that would be an entertaining scrap.
It would be interesting, 100%.
Yeah.
Especially with the power that Danny Ige brings as well.
Good
Lord. It would be super interesting.
Lopez gassed fucking hard.
Yeah, I felt so bad for him because I'm like, man, if he gets knocked out, this is purely because of the weight cut.
Yeah, like he cut down to 45, right?
Yeah, he did that and then did 155 and then did 165 as well. So like his whole rehydration process was messed up probably.
Yeah, I bet. There's one note I need to remember about Diego Lopez, his post-fight interview, but Alex Pereira in the main event KOs Yuri Proska. As the way that I had framed it with Drip on B-sides was like the quote unquote downloading shtick. That's what the first round was. Then opening of the second round, Alex is like, yeah, I want to go home. So I'm done with you. And just kind of brushed him aside.
It's insane because like Yuri was winning large portions of their last fight, and now just not even 6 months later, it's completely uncompetitive.
Yeah.
And I mean, it just shows how good Alex is on the feet. Like there genuinely isn't anyone within his weight class. Well, I guess Adesanya would be maybe the exception that could stand and strike with this guy and have a hope of winning.
Adesanya takes it on like technicality though, right? Like or on technical prowess. That's how he was able to get Pereira the way he did.
Yeah, and also at middleweight. I mean, if he came
himself
up to light heavy, I mean, yeah, if he came up to light heavyweight, I mean, I don't think he'd be able to do the same thing. But there isn't really anyone that I think is going to stand in this guy and not walk away with like a severe amount of damage.
That's right,
Yeah,
Proska.
he's really the only one that can keep up with him is Adesanya. But man, you're right. Like the way, I mean, because in the first fight, Yuri was landing on Pereira, like pretty big. I mean, he was backing up Alex to the cage. I mean, we saw how that ended up at this time. There was just he couldn't enter. He couldn't get into Alex's space.
He also had
without
success
getting
on the
touched.
ground too, right? In the first one.
Oh yeah, I think he slammed down Alex. I don't remember. I think it was at the end of the first round in the first fight.
Yeah, I think I'm
Yeah,
remembering that
he had
right.
success.
Yeah, when Yuri went down at the end of the first, and getting up, like you could have waved it off right there. That was pretty bad. And that was like Xiaonan Wei Li choke out at the end of the first level of like,
Oh,
God damn,
yeah.
this should be over.
Yeah.
But they let Yuri go out for another one, and yeah, he was in trouble trying to get up again. I think they tried to stand him up right away, and he kept falling over. And I'm like looking at all the personnel, like you guys are like half his size. Why the fuck didn't you just put him on a stool?
Yeah, he was so gone.
Yep.
Like I respect him. You know, he's trying to do the whole samurai warrior lifestyle, but like he was so hurt, so hurt. I was gonna mention as well. Did you guys see? It was during Alex's walkout how like Yuri went to the center of the octagon, like he was
I
doing
did
like some
notice
type of
that.
like ritual, like
He
based
was
on what he
aligning
was
his
talking about.
chakras.
Yeah, aligning chakras and maybe like doing like a counter spell to like the shaman magic he had referenced before. That's the only thing. It looked hilarious though. That's why I knew this fight was gonna deliver though. Like from the walkouts to the finish, it had like one of the things on my notes that I have. I just have the don't blink aspect.
Oh, that
Like, that's what it
5
has.
minute fucking stare down they had.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that
That was fucking
staring and then like,
intense.
man, this is one of those fights a knockout could come at any second.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, this was just. Go ahead.
I was just gonna try to crack one that Yuri, before the fight, went to some bruja in the Mojave Desert, trying to get some black magic, but didn't seem to work. That's all I got.
He got his the witch that he got was one of the scammers. Alex has one of the real ones.
Alex Pereira, is there anything really, any challenge for him really?
He has one
Ankalaev.
Ankalaev?
Yeah. Yep.
If there was a champion, or not a champion, if there was a fighter that could challenge him and actually take his belt at light heavyweight, it would be Ankalaev. It remains to be seen if he actually would wrestle with him, but if he did, that would be the biggest challenge. But if he clears that, there's nothing at light heavyweight, and he only has to go up from here.
Did you see where I mean, I don't think it was Ankalaev that wrote it, but he had mentioned on social media that he didn't need to take down Alex to beat him. That he was going to
Yeah, I
keep it
saw
on the
him.
stand up.
Yeah, he's got negative fight IQ if he thinks he's actually
Yeah.
going to do that.
That would be hilarious to see. But yeah, I think within the first minute we're seeing a takedown being shot.
Now, it'll be interesting. I think if Ankalaev shoots multiple takedowns and Alex is able to stop like a couple of them and actually get up off of his feet, or let's say he stops most of them, that actually gives me hope that he could do something at heavyweight. Because right now, like if he were to fight Tom Aspinall next, as much as I like Alex Pereira, there's no way I could envision him beating that like double leg that Aspinall has, that he'd immediately shoot in the first 30 seconds. But if he's able to thwart Ankalaev's wrestling, which, isn't on the same level, but if he's able to clear that and show that he has some kind of takedown defense, I'll start believing.
Yeah, I mean, Glover was a good wrestler, or a decent wrestler in the UFC, and he swears that Alex has gotten a lot better at it, and Alex has said the same. I want to believe, but if he fights Ankalaev, we'll find out for sure if he's gotten better at wrestling or not. But I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what approach he takes as well, because I mean, we know he's got those like jump knees. I mean, he could like be feinting those to like scare Ankalaev from the takedown. I mean, I don't know, but I think that fight would be interesting just because it'd be one of those, we're going to find out if this dude's for real, well-rounded. Has he fully adjusted to MMA?
Off the wall suggestion, just based on the last performances I've seen, if he could get maybe a win or two, solid one or two more, probably two, Carlos Ulberg.
Yeah, he's exciting. I really wanted to see
He's
that
just
Jamal
he's
Hill
really
fight.
explosive. That's all. That's why I bring him up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
he's got
I
power.
just
He's got power too.
he'd get like I like Goldberg, but he'd get knocked out in the first round. Like it's just I'm not convinced there's anyone that can strike with this guy. Like he'd get countered very quickly, or at least his legs would get so chewed up that he wouldn't be able to explode anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I want to see that Jamal Hill fight still happen.
Yeah,
And for
definitely.
Alex, it should really. Alex is at that point now, and like his like status as a superstar that if he defends against Ankalaev, I'm fine with them letting him attempt heavyweight after that. I'd be fine because he would have a few defenses at that point.
Now, I don't know if this is just me being the casual I am, but has Pereira, his takeoff has been fucking meteoric, hasn't it? Since he stopped by Adesanya, and then he steps up to light heavyweight, and then he fucking blew up from there, right? Or
Yeah,
was he
yeah.
always this big or big-ish?
This is unprecedented.
Okay, so yeah, it is a quick rise to fame.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe the only. Oh, continue.
He was known, in the hardcore scenes just for his kickboxing accomplishments, right? He's two-time kickboxing world champion, but I think he won his first UFC title in like 5 fights. Like that's the fastest anyone's gotten to a title, and I think he's the fastest 2-division champion as well. And he's doing it all against like he's not beating cams,
Elite
right?
opposition.
I mean, it's funny. I was hearing the other day from someone that like all these guys right at middleweight right now like are kind of like avoiding Strickland to some degree, or like Strickland's a problem for them at least. And Alex Pereira like decimated this guy in a round. Like that just kind of goes to show the level he's on, right? He came right in, jumped into the top dogs, and like brutally beat all of them, right? Like he got knocked out by Izzy, but at a weight class where he's like really like he's cutting 45 pounds to make.
You hadn't
Yeah,
when he fought Blachowicz, like that was you. I think you had said, Nathan, it was like this is a serious, like we'll see if you can hang with this kind of guy.
That was he had the style to beat him, and he actually tried to wrestle with him, and beat him that way, and it wasn't enough.
Yeah,
But there are better wrestlers than Jan, so.
This is the thing I was gonna say though, like when he fought Jan. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, like when Jan fought Izzy, when he fought Adesanya, like Jan was able to take Izzy down and like just hold him there, and it's what ultimately won the fight, just the control time, and getting the the consecutive takedowns. But against Alex, he was not able to do that. Not only like he was, Jan was very weary of the stand up that Alex had. The leg kicks were chewing him up, even though that's something that we normally accredit Jan with being good at. But it's just, if it comes to stand up, this man will dismantle you. Like he's gonna find a hole, and like whenever he finds it, it's almost immediate. Like when we saw that in the Jamal Hill fight, he saw weakness prior to the cup kick, and he wanted to capitalize on it. I mean, it's you cannot afford mistakes, and you almost have to wrestle with him just to break his rhythm, almost.
Hypothetical for you. What if Alex moves up to heavyweight and he gets the Aspinall fight, and for whatever reason Aspinall decides, I'm going to beat him standing up, I don't need to wrestle him, what do you guys think?
I think Alex wins.
Woof.
Yeah. I mean, I think Aspinall would also, like, he would absolutely use his wrestling advantage, but in this hypothetical, like, I know Aspinall's fast, he has power, but Alex, I'm pretty sure his power would carry to heavyweight. And if he connects, man, anything, we could see a one-punch KO from Alex at heavyweight, I think still. If it's pure stand-up, I think Alex would take that.
Yeah, I think because naturally he walks around at like 230, right? And so hypothetically, he's not cutting any weight maybe weighs in like 235 and is like completely, unrestrained by that. It's hard to envision him losing to Aspinall if the wrestling's taken out of the equation.
It's just he's got so much experience, like even from his
Right.
kickboxing record. Like he's seen so many things in the stand-up.
Last thing on Alex before we move on. Anthony Joshua mentioned that AP should consider fighting a heavyweight in boxing. And AP replied, well, I appreciate the invitation, but it's a little too late for me to start a career. Who do you suggest I fight first? I think it was like a passive call out. I thought that was pretty fun.
I think I've seen sparring footage with Alex fighting like a boxer. I don't think that would go too well. I mean, we saw, like, I know Ngannou's an entirely different person, but I mean, just the difference between someone just starting boxing and someone that's been boxing their whole life is too much of a differential to make up. Like Ngannou got laid out bad when he tried to do it.
He started his
against
fighting career
Anthony
as a
Joshua.
boxer, though, didn't he? So he had a lot more experience, and that still happened.
I mean, even in the fight with Anthony Joshua, we saw like the MMA type of like boxing style.
Yeah.
Like it was. I mean, it's just one of those things that's ingrained because I mean, it's the striking and boxing and MMA are just so different.
Right.
It does. Just to really quickly comment on that, like I would say he would have a better chance than Ngannou at doing something. Like I wouldn't pick him to beat any of the champions, but he could probably beat one of the blobs at heavyweight. But the difference between Ngannou and Pereira is that Pereira is a 2-time kickboxing champion, right? That skill set and the amount of experience he has in that sport, that's going to translate way better for him should he come over to boxing. But like, I mean, if he fought Anthony Joshua, I don't think any of us would pick Pereira in that moment. So
yeah,
maybe it's better to think about it like this. Like instead of Anthony Joshua, what about like a Derek Chisora?
Don't do that to Del Boy.
Leave
Leave him alone.
You know he'd be down. You know he'd be down for that fight.
He would. Of course he would.
He's so gay.
If AJ were to underestimate AP, he could get dropped. Probably gets dropped. But I don't think he loses anyway. But hypotheticals, man. Gotta fight the fights. Moving on. July 12th, Friday. The PFL Middle East. It's not like a season or a tournament like they do with the regular one. It seems like it's just like one-off events that feature different fighters from different Arab nations. So I just wanted to list where they were from, just because like this is all the information I can find really. Ahmed Amir, he's from Bahrain. Jara Al-Silawi, Jordan. Mustafa Neda, Saudi Arabia. Mohammed Al-Lakra, Kuwait. And Omar El Dafrawi, Egypt. Hatan Al Saif, also Saudi Arabia. This is a woman that I am fucking shocked.
Yeah.
A Saudi woman fighting in Saudi Arabia. From what I could see in her previous fight, her thing is a little more modest. Like it's like a full body cover down to the knees, but yeah, no headscarf or anything. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But there you have it.
Progress.
Yeah, I guess it's a start. One day she'll be able to drive. Now, continuing the bleak outlook. Saturday, July 13th, at the Ball Arena in Denver. Really need to work energy. Got to be excited. All right, on the prelims. Josh Fremd, I just like saying his name, versus Andre Petrosky. RJ Alert, Luana Santos versus Maria Agapova. Fun. Vivian Araujo versus Jasmine. Goodness. JJ, that's what you are. Sorry. Main card here. Abdul Razak Al Hassan. I feel like I've seen him before versus Cody Brundage. I've definitely seen him before. Julian Arosa, Christian Rodriguez, Drew Dober. I didn't see fucking opponent's been picked. Gabriel Bonfim versus, god damn it, Angie Lusa. I'm going with it. Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikov. And headlining Rose Namajunas, RJ Alert, Tracy Cortez. Wow. Yes, I'm just as excited as you guys are.
This is a dire card.
It's fucking rough.
This is
I'm
like
kind of
violent.
surprised that they finally go back to Fight Night cards and they give us cards that would make the Apex blush.
Yeah, this. I mean, because this is in Denver.
Yeah.
This. I mean, this would be top tier for Apex, I guess, but I don't know that July 15th. It's okay, but it's nothing. You're not inviting any friends over.
Would you switch the billings for the 20th and the 13th? Put Lemos Jandaroba out on the streets, and then put Rose in the Apex.
Wait, like have like you mean like Rose versus Jandaroba, or what do you mean?
Switch the cards, their locations.
Man, I'd feel bad for Denver.
Wait, that would be worse?
Yeah. I mean, I think the one in Denver is at least there's a few names that I recognize, but in the Apex card, man, there's like 3 people that I gotta be okay with seeing.
Oh god. PFL season's over. They're going into the playoffs. Is anybody losing their minds over that?
And yeah, we're in the trenches these next few weeks.
Yeah.
We're in the trenches.
I think this is one where if you've got 10 stamps on your hardcore fan card, you can turn it in to take some time off here. 10 stupid ass Apex cards and you're fucking out the door on this one. Good lord.
Pick up a hobby, guys. Go watch a movie on Saturday.
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of The Ultimate Fucking Casual. A little bit dire, and next week is not a whole lot better, but we will be back next week anyway. So, to get out of here, questions, comments, concerns about this episode, this podcast, anything on the Lux Media Network, 833-589-7637. You can call or text, whichever. It's up to you. If you want your audio cut into the show, call. It goes straight to voicemail. Either way, it's anonymous. So if you want to let me know how much of a fucking casual you think I am, well, there you go. If you want to check out some of the other stuff that we do, luxmediashows.com. You can go there, have a look around. It's a pretty solid MMA calendar. You can have a look at it, and you can pick and choose the events that you want to sync so that you know it syncs to your local time, so you know when all the random 1FC shit or the random PFL shit, you know when that's going to be, because those are not always at fixed times. Social media, LVX Media Net, that's the handle for everything. So if you do go over there and check that stuff out, keep in mind you're going to see more than just MMA or more than boxing. There's a lot of other things that we get up to over there, so, you know, set the expectations now. The way that the show is recorded, things get chopped up and moved around, right? So if you want to hear the episodes raw, they're cleaned up, like gaps in audio or any audio issues. Those things are cleaned up, but for the most part, it's unedited, uncensored, all that stuff. You want to check out the raw audio, go to patreon.com, look us up there. We're LVX Media Net there, just like we are everywhere else. Apparently, it's difficult for people to find the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@LVXMediaNet, and you'll find us there. Same like everything else, you're going to see more than just MMA, so keep that in mind. But I think that's going to do it. So let's get the fuck out of here. We'll be back next week doing our damnedest to make it entertaining. All right, see you then.